commentating the finals of the Elite 10 ball. Blake Mackey and James DeVee. Let's get back to this match at hand. John Mesa and Anthony J. King Abisado. Thin cut there. Doesn't look like he was playing safe. Ooh. Is he hooked on the point here? I guess we'll find out by Jay's body language how he addresses this table.
All right, Lourdes and Tom on table number 19. Lourdes and Tom on 19. And this table still has a bounty on them. Lourdes and Tom, scratch that.
I apologize. I'm not sure who that is. SD_design. Is that a San Diego reference? I'm pretty computer illiterate, so this is all new to me.
And Josh on table number 19. Joe and Josh on 19 going after the bounty.
Yeah, it's a race to 7 format. And this is the finals. Jay King has the point of a double elimination tournament, meaning that technically this is the first of 2 potential sets. If he gets the first 7 games, then he will be first place winner. Whereas if John Mesa can beat him 7 games, then it would technically go to a second final. Jay playing a nice touch safe there. Looks like John Mesa is using a system. Gonna kick out of here 2 rails into the corner and out. I'm not sure if that 2-8 is wired. Doesn't look like it from here. Might just be playing safe. Look at this. Great shot. Now nothing's touching. Looks like Jay will formulate a nice pattern here. Leaving a great angle on the 3 to get back to the 4. Jay playing with that long, open bridge. I met Jay quite a few years ago when he was living down in the Eugene, Oregon area. It's always an inspiration to watch him play. I've always enjoyed his style, especially when he gets his momentum going. I wouldn't call it freewheeling. It's more of playing with just a confident rhythm. Nice firm cut there. Bringing him back with a shot on the 8-7 to get to the 8. Looks like second place pays $7.95 and first place pays $11.50. So a $355 set here. Nice 2 rails out around the 9. Leaving himself a great path to get down from the 8 to the 9. It'll be interesting to see if he plays with outside or inside. Looks like more of a center ball, maybe a touch of inside. Coming down, leaving himself a nice cut on the 9. Great shot. Avoiding that scratch line in the side. Getting that first game in a race to 7. This is alternating break format. So Jay will be racking. For those of you not familiar with the black plastic rack that he's using, it's a template rack. It's very thin. It sits on the table. It has holes in it. And what it does is it kind of brings all the balls together so they're touching. It's one of the modern changes to the game of billiards. It's kind of controversial. A lot of times when you see someone breaking from the side, such as John Mesa, what they're going to do is they're going to break, and then the wing ball, meaning the ball on the edge of the rack, so in this case the red 3 ball, will go in that lower left corner. Ideally what most people try and do is then they're going to draw the 1 ball back towards the upper right-hand corner, and they're going to try and squat the cue ball in the center of the table. So we saw that he dropped the 3. Looks like he lost a little bit of control on the cue. The 1 did drift up to that right corner. So being rotation, he's going to have to shoot the lowest ball on the table. You see a lot of safe play where players, because you have to hit the lowest ball on the table, will just move the balls around to kind of prevent having a open shot. The prize for these regional tournaments is cash. There's usually a plaque involved. They have their name and picture and publications. And, you know, a lot of times you're just playing for pride and recognition. This is the largest regional tournament in the United States. So you have active billiards players from the states of Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and also up in Western Canada. Oh, man. See, I've been seeing that quite a bit during this tournament. Seems like when people are kicking behind the ball thin, they're hitting that back edge. It will scratch quite often. John Mesa stepping to the table with ball in hand. Nothing touching, but the first opening shot, there is quite a distance between the 1 and 2. This tournament's on 7-foot diamond bar boxes, which is the most common size of table that you'd see in a bar. Some people call them toy tables because they're one of the smaller tables made, but when you're out there looking at that distance, there's nothing toy about it, let me tell you.
27. Dan and Chief on table 27.
No, I believe California has their own form of regional tournament, and because of the high population there, they have a lot of just things going on for themselves. Plus, with their close proximity to Las Vegas, I believe that most of the Californian players are playing at the national level events in Las Vegas. But don't quote me. I haven't lived there in quite a few years. Nice shot there. John Mesa moving that ball down for a smooth shot on the 4. Taking a look at the 5, seeing if he has easy access, making sure that he's not going to clip the 7 on the way in. I don't think he's going to do anything real fancy here. Just rolls the ball in, leaving himself a nice shot. He's probably going to play through that 5 ball. I wouldn't imagine very far because he's going to want to leave himself an angle for the 6 to get back for the 7, but he doesn't want to make that cut any harder than it needs to be. Nice controlled roll shot there. Might have left himself a little bit steep. He wants to avoid the scratch in the side. I could easily see him checking this with inside and just playing back and forth across that diamond that he's on right now, avoiding the scratch altogether. Leaves himself a shot on the 7 pretty much anywhere the ball lies. Wanted to hit it a little bit harder, but he still has a back cut on the 7. 7 might pass by the 9 as well. Here he is looking at tangent lines, making sure that he's not on the scratch potential. weighing up whether he wants to play the lower left or lower right hand
All right,
pocket.
Ray and Ian on table number 31.
It's always disappointing when you feel like you're starting to build some rhythm, seeing the table, and to just get a little bit out of line. Turning over the table with 3 balls on the table is pretty rough, especially when nothing's touching. Looks like Jay might get out here. You can see him popping out, playing the 9 in the lower left. Nice and easy, smooth stroke there. Nice. Getting some momentum early in the match. Going up 2-0 in a race to 7.
All right, Kristen and
He started out
Randy
behind
on
in
table
Fargo,
number 30.
which is his
Kristen and
handicap.
Randy on 30.
You can see that the win percentage has shifted. He's currently at a 63% to John Mesa's 37. As the score changes, you'll see that that win percent will change at the same time. And that's just a calculation, letting us know based off of their handicap what the percentage of the win will be.
Congratulations to Ricky and Dave for collecting the bounty, and also to Brad and Jason for collecting another bounty. The only bounty we have going left is table number 19. All right, BJ and Raquel to table number 20. BJ and Raquel to table number 20.
Jay with a firm break. Pocketing a ball, but not really leaving himself a great opening shot on the 1.
All right, Melissa and
It's kind of hard to
Pam
tell the
on
angle
table
from
number
here,
4.
but I could see him
Melissa
just
and Pam on
playing off the
table number
edge
34.
of that 1 ball down here towards the center diamond on the foot rail, and hopefully leaving himself, or leaving John just behind the 9-5.
On table number 24, Joyce and Andrew on table number 24.
Yeah, Railbirds has some really quality cameras here, and what I find makes a huge difference is that we're using a new brand of light this year. These are Littman lights, which are probably the most advanced light for billiards on the market. Before, we used them just on these 2 featured TV tables, but now they are on all of the tables here, and I've noticed that it makes a huge difference with me seeing the edge of the ball. So he was heading on that path that I was discussing earlier, but he went with a firmer hit, shot the gap between the 9-5, still ended up sitting pretty decent. Yeah, that's the new carpet that they installed not too long ago. This carpet of the past was a similar pattern, more of a tribal design. Always neutral colors for spills.
Table 22, Eric.
We are here at Chinnaquin's Casino in Lincoln City, Oregon, on the Oregon coast. If you've never checked out the Oregon coast, it's definitely somewhere that you'd want to put on your bucket list. Beautiful. John Mesa cutting that ball right in the hole, leaving himself a great shot on the 3 to get to the 4. Kind of sizing up, deciding if he wants to draw back versus cutting to the side. Looks like he's opted to cut to the side, trying to avoid the bump on the 4, or maybe actually playing the bump. Oh, nice. Bumps the 4 and just plays it down towards that lower left corner pocket. Here he has to decide, how do I cut the ball into the pocket but make sure that I don't over-roll shape on the 5? I could see him taking a firmer stroke and moving side to side across the table and ending up with the cue ball close to where the 4 is now.
Josh taking off that last bounty, but
No.
I know we got another one we should probably add.
Must have a good amount of room past the 9. Kind of hard to see from this angle. He's taking a look at it. He's not taking it for granted here. This is a very important shot, being down 0-2 in a race to 7. He wants to set a precedence and put Jay down. Great shot, getting back to the 7. Very smooth stroke on that draw shot. I grew up in Bonita, California, Bonita, which means beautiful in Spanish, which is basically a sister city to Chula Vista, which means cute view in Spanish, down in the south of San Diego. Nice follow shot here, just rolling this 8 ball like we saw before, leaving himself a perfect shot on the 9. Nice execution, John. Getting on the board. Let's watch that percentage shift. So currently Jay was up 63-37. Now when we input that next game, we watch that number go from 52 to 48. So even though Jay is up a game, the difference in the 2 Fargo rates, the handicap, is almost giving a full game spot to John. So it's interesting to watch how those Sorry, someone was touching my monitor. It's interesting to see how those numbers will change as the score changes. One thing I've noticed that I like about John Mesa's play so far is that it doesn't seem like he has changed his demeanor towards the table. It doesn't seem like the score is affecting him. Whereas I feel like my style of play will change depending on if I'm up in the match or down in the match. It's almost like it matches the tempo of my heart. Whereas it feels like his heart or his tempo is just beating at the same pace the whole time. So here's a good shot of that magic rack, the template rack I was talking about, that kind of diamond-shaped triangle sitting on the table. A lot of players will remove it early on just to get it out of the way. Sometimes if a ball is laying on it, kind of like that 9 might be actually laying on the rack. Depending on the feeling of the players, they'll call a ref over to move it, or they'll just elect to move it as a team, or just allow the opponent to move it itself. Here we see that smooth draw stroke again. Look at that. Brings the ball all the way back. Nice shape on that 3 ball. Yeah, I believe golf is one of the most challenging games in the world. I really enjoy it myself, both disc golf and ball golf. The key to me is to see, we know he can make the 3, and we know he can get a good line on the 5, but what he really has to keep in mind is what constitutes a good line on the 5 to be able to get back down for the 6. So whether we're going to see him leave a little bit of an angle so that way he can play 3 rails out, whether he's going to take another draw shot and just bring the ball down. I guess we'll find out here shortly. Oh, see, he was going to go up table to be able to just follow through the 5 in the side and then drift down for the 6. As opposed to the way I was looking at it was playing the 5 up to the upper left and then moving the cue ball back down for the 6. Yeah, James and Lake are still over here, kind of in the preliminary phases of starting their match. You're not missing anything quite yet, but looks like it's about to start here very shortly. And what he was referring to was the James DeVee and Lake McKay, I don't know why I keep on saying it that way, sorry. Finals of the 10-ball elite singles. Huge match. Seeing that same smooth stroke. Great shot. Look at that. It's definitely having very firm control of the cue ball at this point in time. And will he elect to shoot over the magic rack? This is something I never do. I just have had it get in the way too many times. Very nice out by John Mesa. Bringing the score to 2-2. So here we go, 2-2. But now that we're deeper in the race to 7, the win percentage is 40 against Jay and 60 in John Mesa's favor. Yes, Ken, you can watch both. I'm not sure. It seems like some people will watch on a tablet or their phone where they have the other channel going on their TV. Some people have the picture-in-picture function. I've seen people just wearing one earphone and doing dishes. There's pullovers all over the world. One of my favorite things about technology getting better and better and these live streams popping up is that I could be sitting in my favorite chair, laying in my bed, and watching pool around the world. Jay laying down a nice break. I believe he can see that full 2-ball, but I guess we'll find out shortly. It'll be interesting to see if he elects to go cross table and leave himself a cut on the 3 versus the 3-9 combination. I could also see Jay just busting out a huge stroke and coming multi-rails for shape. I'm not quite sure if he was just trying to play safe there or if he just mishit the ball. Doesn't look like it's necessarily a poor leave, but you could tell that he just didn't hit the ball with the same confidence that he's been playing.
All right, Sarah and Ryan on table 35. Sarah and Ryan on 35.
John playing a strong safe right back. Multiple balls in the way here. So not only is Jay right up on the 9-ball, but he also has that 3 as a secondary blocker. Sizing up, deciding which path he's going to take to make contact with that 2-ball. Looking at the 1-rail option. One thing about Jay is that he has the ability to play with extreme English. Here, he's looking at playing 3 rails. So he's going to go side rail, he's going to go foot rail, then he's going to open up off of the side rail that he's on, and he's going to continue down towards that 2-ball and probably play the 2 in that upper right-hand corner. Look at the shot. Oh, my goodness. I tended bar, and Jay used to come in every once in a while and just hit the balls around the table. And it was really interesting to watch him working out on shots that might come up 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. But you could tell that him knowing how to hit that shot meant a lot to him in his game. And I've seen him come into play where you're in a situation where the average player might not know how to hit that ball, but he knows that he's practiced that most likely. John stepping up, electing to play 1-rail shape. Here, I don't know if he's going to be going for this 3-9 combination. I could see him laying up, but I think at this point in time, you know, he wants to solidify the momentum in his direction, coming off of a 2-game swing. Good speed there, but unfortunately he left Jay a return shot of a similar style. I like what you said there, Ken. Jay was the player that put John Mesa down on the B side of the bracket. John Mesa continued to play through, beating multiple opponents to meet Jay back in the finals. Great shot, Jay, making both balls, just in case. Bringing the score to 3-2 in his favor in a race to 7, almost halfway there. Yeah, a lot of times you get a free ball. Jay wearing one of the new billiard brands out currently, Savage Billiards, a local brand. They also have a streaming production, Savage Streaming Productions, doing great things for pool here in the Pacific Northwest. So what John's doing here is he's electing to play a push. So after the opening shot in rotation games, whether that's 9 or 10 ball, the first shot after the break, you're allowed to play something called a push, which means that you can push the cue ball anywhere you want on the table, and the incoming player has the option to either take it or give it back, such as what Jay did. What most players do is they'll try and optimally push the ball somewhere where they like the shot, but they know that the incoming player won't care for it, in which case they will get the shot back, but they will have maneuvered the balls into a more advantageous layout for their style of play. So John Mesa there pushed into a jump shot, and Jay decided that he didn't want to bite at it, so he gave it back. John takes the jump shot. It didn't necessarily work in his favor, but what it did is it didn't force him into taking a low percentage shot, the first shot after the break. Jay going for the bank. Wiggled his way in there. Not seeing the easiest of shots on the 2 ball, considering that he needs to get back for the 3. I know that Jay has the capability to cut this to the lower left pocket, but I think he'd be going off that 7 ball, and he doesn't want to flirt with scratching to the side or anywhere else for that matter.
Kristen says you're welcome.
I can see Jay playing a nice save here. Maybe just interchanging the 2 and the cue ball and using the 8 as the blocker ball. The one thing he needs to be careful about is coming off that left edge of the 2 ball and flirting with that 3 ball, because you don't want to be scratching there either. Looks like he's queuing up pretty low, showing that he's going to put some action on the ball, and just smokes it in the side pocket. Oh my goodness, J. King Abisado showing us what he's capable of doing. What a great shot. Inspiration. We see another nice stroke shot here, getting from the 3 to the 4. Under hits it just a touch, especially after he had to stroke that last ball so firm. Because he's trying to get up table for that 6 ball, I could see him swinging at this 1 rail bank, knowing that he's going to leave himself kind of a 2-way protection shot. Whether he's going to open this up with a little bit of outside to swing even farther up table. Yep. Might have got fortunate with a leave there. John Mesa, most likely either cutting this ball to the left and to the side, or looking at the back bank. I could see him playing a nice safe as well. From this angle, it's really hard to see if you can back cut that in the side. I think he's looking at it and maybe talking himself out of it, looking at his tangent line coming off that ball to either play safe. Nice safe there. Great shot. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the short jump cue coming out of Jay's case here. Looks like he's sizing up, deciding what he wants to do. Jay has a firm kicking game, but he also jumps. I believe he's jumping with a OB lift with a custom Sheldon extension. Sheldon LeBeau being a custom cue maker out of the Eugene, Springfield area here in Oregon. Jay going with a sidearm jump, loose wrist. I believe he got the good hit. Yes, good hit. No motion to pick up the cue ball. Fortunately, it's just the aim was just a touch off. I could see John Mesa just thinning this to win it, cutting this ball, touch it outside to avoid that 8-7, and just moving up table for the 6. Not in the cards. Elects to play a nice safe. We're going to see that jump cue again. Jay coming over full size, looking at it. Almost exactly what he did last time. After missing the last jump, I could see him playing safe here. I mean, playing the kick. Interesting. Coming 2 rails. Nice shot. Great contact.
All right, can we get Juan Ibarra to table
I couldn't tell if the 6 ball hit a rail or not from where we sat.
Ibarra to table number 41, please.
He went 2 rails. He came into the 4, but his body was blocking. Doesn't look like he's going to pick up the ball. There was a little bit of a verbal transaction there. I know that when I played with Jay in the past, if he fouls, he usually just picks up the ball or touches it with the tip of his cue to let you know that it was a foul.
Kelso and Bill to 36.
Yeah, one of my weaknesses, I'm new to commentating, is that I don't always look at the chat as much. I'm really trying to concentrate on the game. My name is Joel Peck. I'm sitting in with Railbirds. Great shot, John. We do have 2 other commentators sitting next to me that are commentating on the other feature table on our second channel here at Railbirds. It is the next division up, which is Elite over the one that we're watching, which is Platinum. So the Elite final is going on now. The main difference between Elite and Platinum is that Elite is playing a little bit of more difficult form of rotation, which is called 10 ball. So they're actually starting with 10 balls on the table instead of 9. You can see his motion, kind of like you see in tennis, where a tennis player will hold up their finger, signifying that I got lucky there. So he was going for the back bank 1 rail and ended up hitting it 3 rails up into the upper right-hand corner. And that's one of the beauties of playing 9 ball, is that it is not call pocket or call shot. As long as you hit the lowest ball on the table and something goes, then you get to keep on going. I like that he didn't let it rattle him at all. He regrouped, made that great cut into the side pocket on the 7, and now he's in great position to make this 8 and 9 and tie up the score at 3-3. Well, thank you for the vote of confidence. I do hope you're enjoying yourself. We will be here through Sunday. There's plenty of pool left to watch.
All right, Michael and
Nice shot.
View on table number 35. Michael and View on table
John
35.
tying up the score, 3-3. For those of you just joining us now, this is the first of potential 2 finals in the Western BCA 9-ball championships here in 2019. This is the Platinum Singles Division. Recently in our organization, we switched from a all-male and all-female divisions into a combined male and female division. Now we're just basically going off of your player rating, which is the Fargo rate number that you see on the score. So Jay is a 589, where John is a 612. Basically what they did is they had everyone that wanted to play in the tournament enter, pay your money, and then everyone that fell under a 625 Fargo rating that didn't elect to play into the highest division, which was Elite, is then grouped into one giant pot of players. So within that giant pot of players, what they decided to do was they basically kind of started drawing lines in the sand to separate them based off of Fargo rates. So this is the highest division within the divisional singles. I know that's kind of hard to explain, and I apologize I'm not more clear, but that's the best way I can put it. So this division is what the division gold underneath it is aspiring to get to. And eventually, players that are in this division, which is Platinum, are aspiring to get to Elite, which is the next division up, which is the highest division that we have here at the local level. Jay laying down a nice save, using not only the 3 but the 9 as a blocker. John sighting that out. I like that he's approaching it from the object ball side and looking through the object ball to the cue ball, as opposed to looking through the cue ball into the object ball. He's just kind of double looking at it, making sure to see if he can accomplish what he's planning on doing, seeing how much of the edge of that 2 ball he has, and then deciding what he can do off the edge of that ball. I could see him cutting over just below the 8 and playing the cue ball up by the 6-4, leaving Jay with a lot of distance. Looks like he was headed in the right direction. Unfortunately, he just didn't get up behind those balls, and that 2 ball leaked out a little bit off the 8. Fortunately, he did tie up that 4-6. It's hard to see if it's wired into that left corner upper pocket. Jay kind of sizing that up now. We know that Jay has the capability to get from the make the 2 and get to the 3, but what he really has in the back of his mind is what can he do with that 4-6? Because this is 9-ball, form of rotation. You always have to hit the lowest ball on the table, and you need to continue hitting the lowest ball on the table until you get to the 9-ball, which is the game ball or money ball. So technically, you could make all the balls on the table, miss the 9-ball, your opponent steps into his inning or her inning, makes the 9, and they win. So it's kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Jay definitely leaving himself a steeper angle on the 3, but what that does is it allows him to get up table. I could see him playing 2 rails firm and breaking that out. Oh, that's what he went for. He ended up catching that 3rd rail and came up shy of that 6-4, but I think that was the good plan of attack there.
Elaine and Rick to table number 29. Elaine and Rick to table number 29.
He might be back banking to the same pocket that he's leaning over now. It looks like he thought it was wired. Played that with a touch of outside. It's kind of a free shot there. He was able to move the 6 over towards that pocket in case it went. And if it missed, such as he did, he still ended up leaving John a long shot on the 4 ball. Just in case you have the ability to watch two screens at once, we have a great match going on our other channel. We have the finals of the Elite 10 ball division. James DeVee coming from the bottom side, trying to take down Lake McKay. Currently, the score is 1-1 in a race to 9. Playing a little separation safe there. Trying to leave that 4 over near the middle diamond on that side rail. It'll be interesting to see if Jay tries to cross bank this versus just shortening it up and playing this ball one rail in the side pocket. Seen Jay actually play off the left edge of the 4 ball and use the cue ball to make the 6 plenty of times in the past. And that's the direction he was heading. I don't think he was honestly trying to make that ball. I think he was just trying to get it there to use the 6 ball as kind of a deterrent. Anytime you're shooting over a ball or close to a rail, it just really intensifies the discomfort of the stroke. So when a ball is kind of out in the open and you can have your bridge firmly planted either on the rail or on the table, you're able to kind of really get into your stroke and rhythm. Whereas here, if you're jacked up a little bit, you're having to impart a little bit of spin on the ball. Oh, not what he was looking for there. Jay has to be happy with this leave. Nothing touching, 4 balls on the table, 6 ball being close to the pocket. Great opening shot on the 4. Nice transition from the 4 to the 6. I have a feeling we're going to see the same thing. From the 6 to the 8. Just drags that ball down the rail. It's going to make this 8 in the lower left just pop out a touch, maybe back it up a hair, leaving himself the 9 in the lower right-hand corner. Jay really looking to solidify this 4-3 lead. Once again, we see that bigger stroke for the crossover, so he chooses not to contain the ball on that left side where he's on and just moves right over across. And I see that a lot out of a bigger stroke player, and it's working wonders for Jay so far. That's the second time we've seen that shot, and he's hitting it flawlessly. Go ahead and get that score updated, 4-3 in Jay's favor. Looks like Fargo rate is giving him odds of 58% to 42% here. Just to give you guys an idea of what their path to success has been in this tournament so far, looks like Jay played Will Pearson, Mike Cronk, John Chaplin, Josh Anderson, and then John Mesa for the point. And now he is playing John Mesa in the first of potentially 2 finals. All of those being wins. Jay sitting on the top side of the bracket, or the A side, meaning that he doesn't have a single loss so far.
All right, Melissa and Pam.
John's only loss was to Jay.
19. Melissa and Pam on table number 19.
He then came back through, beat Brian Bauer, putting him into the 3rd place finish, and earned his way back into the finals against Jay. The main difference is that because John is now coming from the B side, or the bottom side of the bracket, he's going to have to beat Jay 2 sets to win this championship.
Lourdes and Tom to table number 23.
Well, Jay has his work cut out for him
to
here.
table number 24.
Looks like he is
Josh to table 24. Jorge
looking at playing
and
safe off the
Edgar
edge of that
to
one.
table number 25. Jorge and
Flirting
Edgar
with that side
to table
pocket.
number
Oh
25.
my gosh, what a great
Dave
shot.
and Steve to table
Look at
number
the speed,
34.
control
Dave
of the
and
angle of the
Steve
ball.
to table number 34.
Man, that is a pretty deep safe there. I have a feeling that edge of that 8 ball is preventing him from going high of the side pocket for the one rail kick. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a one rail kick down to the foot rail and then back up trying to play the one in the upper right hand corner. But no, it looks like he might have that ball. Maybe that 8 isn't as big as I'm seeing it on my screen. He's definitely lining up. I wonder if that means that 1 goes by the 7 as well. No, changing the plan. Here he is, getting out a short jump cue, jumping over the edge of the 4 ball. I struggle with this shot because I'm taking a lower percentage jump, and I don't know what it gets me. Unless he's trying to cut the 1 up in that upper right, it looks like that 3 ball is much bigger than that. If you're going to kick into the ball, I don't know if I'm going to intensify the difficulty of the kick by adding a jump to start it out with. But I played it in this division myself, and I am not in the finals. So these guys definitely know something that I don't. It's pretty awesome to be able to sit here and watch 2 players playing in the championships that I played in, but having performed much stronger than I did. I guess I would equate it to having been in the NFL and going and attending the big game. Except for I get to sit in the booth and talk about it live. John with the jump cue again. Looking to jump over this 2 ball and make the 1 in the upper left-hand corner. Coming back down table for the 2 itself. So he got over the ball, which we see quite often. It's the accuracy that once you get over the ball, that really takes some tuning. A lot of people will jump, and because they're hitting down on the core of the ball and actually bouncing it over the ball they're trying to get over, they're imparting a lot of spin on the ball, a lot of times unintentionally. So when the cue ball lands, a lot of times it has extreme spin on it and will just take a drastic curve. Jay playing off the 1 into the 2 and leaving himself a nice shot on the 1. Looks like he was using a little hopeful body English there.
All right, Tim and Min, please move to table number 35 against Michael and you.
Working with what he had, which was only a portion of the 1 ball.
Against Michael
Jay played a nice safe
and
there.
you.
Almost locked it up behind that 7-5. That would have been pretty deep. Even though John can see most of this 1 ball, if not all of this 1 ball, he's once again in the predicament that he can most likely get to the 3 ball, but the 4 is a problem on the 8, and the 5 is definitely a problem on the 7. So strategically, he's going to have to decide whether he wants to make this 1 ball and then continue on down the line in hopes that he can open up this tangled rack and get out. Because being down 3-4 in a race to 7, you are really trying to get the momentum back in your favor.
27. Kelsey and Cole to table 27. another member that didn't circle the winner's name.
Jay finessing that ball in the corner pocket.
Is our new member that did not circle the winner's name club.
Leaving himself an angle on this 3-ball. It'll be interesting to see what he chooses to do with that angle. Whether he's going to play it in that right-hand side pocket and play either one rail to get up low of this 4-8, playing the 4 in the upper right-hand corner. Jay tends to play a lot of breakout pool, so I could see him just taking a bigger swing and coming 2 rails and breaking out the 4-8. But maybe the 4-8 combination goes.
Right,
Once again, it's really hard to see from this angle.
Jeremy to table number 33, Heather and Jeremy to table
If it does,
number
that's a great shot
33.
because he's going to make the 8 and leave the 4 in the vicinity of that side pocket, which leaves him one more shot to make the 4 and open up that 5-7 problem that we discussed earlier.
All right, I got
Look at
6
this.
more spots left in
Oh
the
my
third
goodness,
class
what a
meeting
strong
for
shot.
tonight. 6 more spots, $10 9-ball
This has been pretty
handicap.
impressive so far.
If you'd like to get the last meeting of the night, make your way.
I really enjoy the style of 9-ball. I mean,
Anderson, table 45.
I enjoy people running out. It's exciting. But once you start getting into the strategic side of pool, seeing when the balls don't fall into an easy pattern, you can really see the strengths and weaknesses of players. And so far, we've seen some strengths out of both players. I haven't picked out much weakness so far. We've seen a versatility in shots. We've seen some great kicks. We've seen some nice jumps. We've seen some extreme cuts and banks. If anything, I think both players are playing strong considering the pressure that they're feeling in this match. Nice 1-rail kick. Some separation on the ball here. Jay sizing this up. I know it's wily, but I could actually see Jay playing this 1-rail bank and playing that 4 just past the 6th ball and then hitting it off of the 7, 5, and down into the corner. I feel like he has a decent shot of making it, and at the same time, if he doesn't, it could be a 2-way shot. But no, plays a much nicer cut. Beautiful. Is he playing the 5-9 here? Not even close. Plays a great save. Jay playing a very smart game. Exercising control. Not swinging for the fences. I think we might have only seen him get aggressive once or twice. Maybe a few more times, but nothing that stands out to me. Once again, I would like to compliment John Mesa on the rhythm that he's keeping. That he continues to maintain the same pace throughout the match, calculating his angles, not shooting fast or deliberately slow, but just that steady pace. Be interesting to see how straight in Jay is here. Jay's not afraid to draw the ball whatsoever. If he's straight, I could see him drawing back to the rail that he's shooting on now, opening that ball up with extreme left to swing all the way down towards this lower right-hand corner pocket. The reason why you see him really kind of juicing that ball is he needed to get down for the 6. So doesn't really benefit you to make the 5 if you can't have any shot on the 6. So it'll be interesting to see what path John decides to take here. He is moving away from the 6th ball, but he'll have plenty of momentum to come back down for it. I'm thinking he's just going to head towards the center of that top diamond. Oh my goodness, what a shot. I can't wait to get home and practice some of these shots. I just see the table so much different than both of these guys. It is quite a treat for me. Didn't necessarily pan out in his favor, but he's still shooting. Has a good look at the 6-ball and can strategically decide what he wants to do from here. Ooh, that was a gutsy shot. Jay is pretty deadly with a jump cue. Sizing up whether he's going to go rail first, meaning to just play down to the head rail or the foot rail, and then come up and actually back cut that 6 in the corner. He was sizing up for a Mesa there for a second. Going rail first. Oh, and just overcuts it by a hair. I don't think he would have necessarily liked that leave on the 7, but here we have a much easier transition from the 6 to the 7 for John Mesa. I'd be really surprised if he's not out here. This shot can be much more difficult than it seems because of how thin you need to hit the 6-ball. I see a lot of people feel like they're playing about that speed and leave that he left, and they will go all the way up table and scratch in that upper left-hand corner pocket. It happens time and time again because people are hitting so thin on that object ball, and that momentum just carries that cue ball so far off of the target that you had mentally. Great control shot out of John Mesa. So I think we're going to see that same one-rail shape that we saw out of Jay earlier. He'll cut the 8-ball and then head over to the right-hand side of the table, playing the 9 in the lower left. Yeah, and see how he did that? He didn't hit that ball firm. He didn't muscle it. He didn't punch it over. He just played it nice and smooth. Just continued through that 8-ball, but knew that he had the right English on it for it to carry over for a great shot on the 9. Strong finish, John. Bringing that score up to 4-4. Stair-stepping game for game for game here in the last couple of games. With that win, John Mesa is in favor of winning this match according to the win percentage from Fargo Rate. They're giving him 57 to 43 odds. We'll see if he proves them right. Here we see James DeVee, one of the bigger men in the room. I think he stands at a whopping 6'6", if I'm not wrong. I had the pleasure of playing him some short rack bank pool the other night. Definitely humbled me. Jay with a, oh my goodness, about as close as you can get to a golden break without making the 9-ball. So here Jay is faced with a big decision. This is something that you see pretty often. He has the enticement of the 9-ball being in the jaws, that at any point in time he can play the lowest ball on the table into the 9 for the win. But he has to be able to get a shot on it. So here, his opening shot is on the 1-ball, and that's not the easiest of shots. So what some people will elect to do is they'll play a push, pocket the 9 spots, and then they'll have the option to either have their opponent shoot the shot that they left them, or the opponent will pass it back on if they don't like it. So somewhere in the back of Jay's mind, he knows that that 9 is hanging in that pocket. He really wants to make that 9. He's going to continue looking at it, but the strong player is just going to run the balls in order and not really allow that 9-ball weighing on them to kind of distort what they're trying to do. And as you saw there, what he did is he was trying to make the 2-ball to a certain extent, maybe playing the bank or the 2-rail bank, but what he's really trying to do is pull off of that 2-ball, drift that 9 down, and drift the cue down and make the 9. So here we have a similar option for John Mesa. He doesn't have the option to play push, but any point in time, you can always pocket the 9-ball and take the foul, meaning that the 9 will come up out of the pocket, spot. You're giving up ball in hand, but you're basically gambling that your opponent won't be able to run the rack even with ball in hand. But a lot of people will do that when they feel like they don't have a great shot at the lowest ball on the table in fear of giving up ball in hand in a simple combination. Look at this. Oh, great shot. Oh, my goodness. John Mesa taking the lead for the first time in this set at 5-4. That was a huge game. Watch the win percentage shift to a 74-26. Not only is it 5-4 in favor of John Mesa, but he is breaking. One thing I really struggle with is when I'm maintaining the lead throughout the match, and then once you start getting deeper and deeper into the match, closer to a winning game score, if I lose the lead, it's one thing that I struggle with. I get down on myself mentally. Oh, that's a big miss. So, ball in hand to Jay, giving him a chance to get that game right back. David, it's going on currently. It's on the other channel. Right now the score is 2-2 in a race to 9. And once again, that is the elite 10-ball division, and it's played on the table right next to this one. So if you have the capability to watch both, or if you want to watch that over this match, I completely understand. Fortunately, I got distracted there. The only thing I could think is that John scratched on the break, Jay had ball in hand, and then it looks like John just took ball in hand. So was that back-to-back scratches? Can anyone clue me in? Man, this is a good-looking table for John Mesa.
All right, Brad and Jason on table number 25.
If he can get out here, that's going to put him on the hill. 6-4. He'd really like to be able to solidify this win, getting it to a second final. Might see a nice little controlled draw shot out of him here. Beautiful. Leaving himself a great angle, making that 7, coming down towards this 8-ball. Leaving himself a great window for the 9-ball. Kind of a 50-yard line shot. He has a great angle on the 8-ball, but it's really easy to come up short and get center table. He has to decide whether he's going to come across and play the right 9-ball in the same pocket, or if he's going to contain there and play the 9-ball towards the left. As we saw, he elected to hit that draw shot. In a vacuum, this is not the most difficult shot for John Mesa, but there's so much added pressure because he knows the importance of this ball. Great shot. Bears down, gets it done, putting himself on the hill, taking a 6-4 lead in a race to 7. Exactly where he wants to be. That was a major turnover, having scratched on the break. I wish I had the replay function to be able to go back and see what ended up happening with Che. I'm not sure if he was trying to open up a problem and ended up scratching. I'll ask him after the match. Jay looking to get the momentum back in his favor. Envisioning himself in a race to 3. Kind of a rough opening shot on the 1. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a nice little safe off the left edge using that 8-9 as a separation tool. Only thing that's scary about that is leaving the lowest numbered ball anywhere close to the 9 ball can be pretty scary. Here we are. He's got his eye on the prize. Looking at this 1-9 combination jacked up. That's one thing I really like about Jay is he's not afraid to get out there and really put it all on the line. Oh, he saw something different there. I had no idea that's what he was going for. I like that a lot better. You can see his comfort there, sitting up on that rail, jacking up. He didn't seem intimidated by it whatsoever. Nice combination, controlling the 1 ball, drifting down. This 3 ball is a little bit tricky because of where the 7 ball sits, but I don't feel it's outside of his wheelhouse at all. Gonna see a nice controlled draw shot, opening up. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Great shot, Jay. Be interesting to see if we're gonna see a controlled draw shot out of Jay, cutting to the upper left, drawing between the 6-7 off that right side rail. Looks like he's tipping low. Similar shot, but unfortunately he wasn't able to split that gap.
All right, Dave
Kind of a
Steve on table
worst
19.
nightmare situation
Dave
here.
and Steve on table
Being so
number
close,
19.
yet having the added pressure that he knows that if he does not make this kick, chances are he's going to lose this set. Let's see what we can do. 1 rail. Beautiful. Great shot, Jay. Great speed. Back into good position. A little bit of an off angle on the 7, but not anything that I see Jay having a problem with. Oh no. Commentator's jinx. Hit a great shot on the 9. Well, I would be extremely surprised if John doesn't solidify this first set. Doesn't have to do much with these balls whatsoever. Nice, easy shot. Control this 7. Same thing on the 9. Not much worry of a scratch potential. Still taking a good sight on it while he's chalking. Taking a secondary sight on it. He's really taking his time, making sure that he doesn't take the shot for granted. Gets down. Great shot. 7-4. John Mesa taking the first set of this final. Going to a second final in this true double elimination tournament. Flipping for the break. And we're going to get this started. Giant James stepping into our view, supporting another billiard apparel company that we have, Hustlin' USA. A lot of people rocking different types of billiard apparel these days. Watching the streams here around the nation, seeing different sponsors and people just supporting companies that they enjoy. Looks like John Mesa won the flip. So once again, this is a true double elimination tournament. Jay having just lost the first of potentially 2 final sets. Both players are now on even playing ground. I like that Jay put John Mesa on the bottom side of the bracket in the first place, and now he has knocked Jay down to the bottom side. So they are just alternating punches. This is the last set of the 2019 Western BCA 9-ball Platinum Singles. John Mesa with the opening break, leaving himself a nice shot on the 1. It's hard to tell how steep of an angle he has here, but I could see him playing 3-rail shape out towards the 3. Side rail, head rail, side rail, coming. Nope. Probably a much safer way to do it. Nice 1-rail shape, leaving himself a full view of the 3. No potential to hook yourself there, opting to leave himself a much longer but doable cut.
All right, Kristen and Randy, please move to table number 21.
Ideally
Kristen and
playing
Randy to
through the
table
3 to
21.
get down to the 4. Unfortunately, he's just overhit it, hooking himself pretty deep on that 4 ball. Probably going to see a 1-rail kick on the backside of the 8. Looks like he's sighting to either play it into that right-hand side pocket or maybe technically down into that upper right-hand corner. Strong kick there. Getting great contact. The 6-7 is still an issue, being in such close proximity to the 8 ball. You have the next 3 balls in sequence after the 5, all locked up. See what Jay can do here. If I'm seeing it right, he does have a full shot on the 4 ball. The big question is, can he make the 4 and leave himself a decent angle on the 5 to somehow either unlock the 6? I believe the 6 does pass by the 7 to this lower left-hand corner if the 5 is out of the picture. So, ouch. Don't think he would have liked that shot on the 5. If he would have had a truer cut on the 4, he probably would have ended with a different result on the 5. So John Mesa still having the same issues that Jay had, so we'll see what he can do. Opts to go 3 rails below the 9. Unlocking the 8 ball. Taking a look to see if the 6 ball goes in that upper right-hand corner. If it does, it looks like the cue ball is sitting in a great position now. So whether he's going to draw back and try and get into pretty much the same spot. Unfortunately, he's going to be stretched out and jacked up over the 6 and 7 ball. I could see him playing 3 rails, and coming up high side, almost where the bridge is now, to play that 6 in the lower left, same pocket that he's playing the 5. Unfortunately, he's using the bridge, so that really changes how you can stroke the ball. I think if I'm using the bridge here, I'm going and just trying to get that cue ball right back to where it's at now to play that 6 in the upper right. I don't have the guts to get too fancy. Nice and easy. I think that's what he opted to do. Didn't want to risk the draw to try and get himself a couple inches. Hard to tell if he has it. Seems like he's been sighting that ball goes. Guess we'll find out here in just a moment. Whether he's going to play through that ball and not disturb the 7. Whether he's going to bump into the 7 and shift it towards the side. Opts to bump it in towards the side. Great shot. Looks like he left himself a back cut. I'm not sure if it's doable or not. Could see a nice little safe here. Taking a look at the combination. Maybe he's looking at a ticky shot, playing the 7 into the rail off the backside of the 8, and then using that same momentum to carry him down here in the corner. He has quite a few different options. The one thing that really kind of puts me on edge is that if I'm playing that 7 ball anywhere near this lower left-hand corner, I'm moving the cue ball towards that scratch line in the side pocket. So with my stroke and my abilities, I'm definitely limited on what I can do. Seems like he's kind of on the fence. Let's see if his demeanor changes. So he gets down. It seems like he has made up his mind as to what he's doing. Looks like he's back cutting to the side. Yes, he fully committed to back cutting to the side, but he was just a hair off of the mark. Even Jay, a steep cut to the side, but definitely doable. The steeper, the faster the cue ball is going to move in after contact, meaning that he will be able to get a round table to hopefully get a shot on the 8. I could see him playing the cut to the side, playing that shot with an outside English, playing one rail right by the 8 ball to the head rail, to the other side rail, and then coming down between the 8-9 to play the 8 up in that upper left-hand corner pocket. We'll see what Jay has. Oh. Strong path of the ball, but unfortunately it was just a little too steep of a cut. When you throw that ball with that outside English, it tends to change the aim on the ball. Looks like it got the best of Jay there. John looking. I did not see that coming at all. I thought for sure John was going to take that leave and get out, but he plays a strong safe. I like that play. That was very smart. A lot of times a player will opt to not necessarily torture their opponent, but they're going to try and get in their head by playing safe. Sometimes you'll play a player, play safe against them instead of an aggressive offensive shot, and they're just looking at you like, why would you do that? But sometimes taking your opponent out of their comfort zone can get you a much better result. So instead of John forcing a shot that maybe he didn't believe in, instead he opted to take a safe that he knew he could have a higher percentage of executing, and he was rewarded. He now has ball in hand on a 3-ball out with nothing touching. I'd be very, very surprised if John doesn't get out here. Looks like he's just going to hit a nice follow shot towards that side pocket, leaving himself pretty straight on the 8. It's hard to tell if that 8 is on the rail. If that 8 is on the rail and the cue ball's on the rail, that makes that shot that much harder. If either one of those balls is a little bit off the rail, it makes it much, much easier. Looks like he's setting up for the draw. So I see him just hitting that ball as straight as possible, imparting that low English on it, and just drawing right back towards the 9 ball. Great shot. Didn't overjuice it and sacrifice the actual shot. Was able to pull off the rail a little bit so he can see more of the cue ball when he shoots the 9. John's in great position here. Nice shot, John. Taking game 1 of the second set. Let's see what happens to the win percentage here. So it started out with Jay at 38 to John 62, just from their Fargo rates alone, which is Jay at a 589 and John Mesa at a 612. When we go ahead and adjust that score to 1-0 in John's favor, it shifted that percentage to a 28.72. So pretty strong odds there in favor of John Mesa. One thing that alternating break does is it tends to hinder the rhythm of a player. It prevents you from linking racks together, basically breaking runs. So here, even though John Mesa won that last rack, because we're playing alternating breaks instead of winner breaks, it was Jay's turn to break because they're breaking every other rack. Looks like Jay might be playing a nice safe here. Looks like he overran it a hair. I believe that John Mesa has at least a slim edge of that 2 ball. I myself, if I were Jay, if I don't win this next game, I think I would take a break. Just because I don't feel the momentum is in his favor currently. I feel like if you were seeing the way that he played earlier, meaning the last set, he came out with a lot of confidence and he was hitting the ball strong. He was moving the ball around, and we've definitely seen his momentum head down in the opposite direction. Whatever you need to do, whether you're going to drink a Red Bull, go grab a smoke, go climb some stairs, have some come over and rub your back, whether you're going to go ahead and just get out your phone and look at a picture of your dog that you miss. I don't care what you do, but I feel like having a strategy in your toolbox to kind of be able to get yourself out of a funk or a decline in momentum is necessary at this level of pool. It'd be kind of interesting to talk to different players of different levels and discuss the oh my gosh. Discuss the strategy that each player has, or if they have one at all, when it comes to getting yourself out of that downward spiral. Man, that's a rough turn of events for Jay. Really looking to get on the board there and get the score tied at 1-1, turning over the table with nothing touching. So, ball in hand to John Mesa. John playing a great controlled leave there, right into that 7 ball, leaving himself a great angle on the 3 to get to the 4. I believe that 4 goes by the 5, so I can just see him coming up table. Not too far. Oh, might have had a touch of inside on there. Maybe he saw something I didn't. I was thinking he was trying to go for a flatter line. Basically just coming up table on a very straight line to leave himself the 4 past the 5. I could see John taking 2A here. Playing the 4 into the 9 combination, but also having the potential to play off the 4 into the 5, making the 5 in the lower right-hand corner. The one main difference between 9 ball and 10 ball is that in 10 ball, you're only allowed to call one shot. And in 9 ball, you don't have to call any shots. All you have to do is hit the lowest ball on the table. So technically, John could play the 4-9. If he makes the 9, he wins. If he plays the 4-9 and makes the 5 instead, he's still shooting. So there's no disadvantage to taking a 2-way or 3-way shot. Jay stepping to the table. You can tell that Jay is affected by the score of the match currently. Seems like he is a little bit down on himself. Jay tends to be a jovial person, usually smiling, has an upbeat energy to him. I really hope that he can turn this around. That's a great start to it. Very strong, safe. I think we're all hoping for a hill second final here. We all enjoy a high caliber of play and seeing people execute the shots that they strive to make. Isn't it amazing? Alex Dobler, a friend from the past, ex-coworker, now living in the Pennsylvania area. Also very familiar with Anthony J. King Abisado, joining in with us multiple nights in a row. Pretty late out there in Pennsylvania. Glad you're putting in the live stream time. Good to see you interacting. So some people will call that shot a relocatable safety. Basically, he opted to take a foul, hoping to tie up one, if not multiple, of those balls. It's kind of what happens a lot of times when you feel like you don't have a real good look to make contact. Unfortunately, that 6-9 looks like it's wired, so I could see Jay just playing the 5, coming out somewhere towards the middle of the table, leaving himself a shot on the 6-9 combination. Nice controlled shot right around middle table. Great shot, Jay. Tying that score at 1-1. That was a huge turn of events there. Jay earned that rack off of that beautiful save. We'll see if we notice his tempo change at all. Once again, I'm a firm believer in, you know, the energy that you're putting off. I think once we see Jay smiling, once we kind of see him more picking up his pace around the table a little bit, I think that's when John Mesa is going to really need to watch out. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. I know Summer's been at it for a while. He's been watching quite a bit of commentary, just kind of trying to develop his style. I'm just kind of in it for the ride, you know? We hope you're doing well. Love to see you back on the table sometime. We will be attending Derby City Classic, hopefully playing all the events there towards the end of January. It's most likely to be my last year, first and last year, at least for some time. I'm hoping to make a transition, go travel the world, see as much of Southeast Asia as my billfold can afford. Gonna go below my life savings. I've wanted to go check out Thailand since I saw Jean-Claude Van Damme in Kickboxer 1. It's been kind of like a childhood infatuation that I've never manifested, but now's the time. We'll see. Smart shot out of John Mesa. Looks like Jay might have at least 3/4 of that one ball. He might have it all. We'll see. It's really hard to tell how much of that 6 is protruding into the line of the ball there. No doubt at all. He's got it all. Oh, man. Maybe not. He really tried to juice up on that spin. He might have been swerving around that ball with just a touch. Either way, he ended up with a good leave there. We haven't seen very many jump cues in this match so far. Both players electing to kick quite a bit more. I like that strategy that you're keeping the ball on the table. You're relying on the lines that you can distort, either utilizing English or just playing straight into the rail. Here we see at least a portion of the ball, so he doesn't have to kick whatsoever. Looks like he's playing the 1-7. Oh, close. That would have been a really nice save to end up on the backside of that 9 ball. Unfortunately, he's leaving Jay a shot on the 1 and moving down towards the 2. As long as Jay can make the 1 and stay down in that vicinity of the table, I see him transitioning from the 2 to the 4 without too much of an issue. It's really hard to see if the 5 passes the 9 into this lower right-hand pocket. I think we'll be able to see. Oh, and just hangs the ball. He was really trying to leave himself that angle on the 2 to get back for the 4. If I was a coach in Jay's corner right now, I'd be giving him the signal to be taking a smoke or washing his hands, whatever he chooses to do to kind of refresh his mindset. This is not the energy I'm used to seeing out of Jay. It's understandable. This is a big match. Playing not only for the cash, but also for the prestige. There's a difference between performing and winning. I know that Jay not only strives to perform, but he also strives to win. Nice line there. I believe the 5 must pass the 9. Looks like John's just going to play this 4 long down to the lower left corner, rolling with that same momentum, leaving himself a shot on the 5. Nice transition to the 6, coming up table for the 7. Yeah, I mean, you have to have nerves of steel to be playing in a final and not be nervous. It's interesting to find out the different techniques that people use to check their nerves. Jay's had some strong performances here in the last few years. When he transitioned from Eugene up to the Portland area, I think just being around that many diamond 7-foot tables and just having a little bit larger of a population, he's definitely submerged himself or immersed himself in pool culture up there. We're friends on social media, so I could just kind of see some of the stuff that he partakes in. Definitely playing tournaments at a local level and doing some traveling. Jay is a beautiful baby boy at home, so I'm sure that's kind of also part of the picture. John Mesa going to work, hitting the balls. You can tell he's playing confident. Nice controlled shot there. Are we going to see another controlled draw shot? So just going to come back off that 8, right back to where he's at.
Hang tight. Stay there.
Great shot. It's about as smooth as it gets right there. Nice. It's easy as counting on your fingers. Taking the lead, 2-1.
Bought a raffle ticket for the limited edition.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning him and saying, have you seen that new Filipino kid in town? You know, he kind of wears like the flat bill hat backwards. And I didn't run into him until I went to Good Times and we were out there on the outdoor patio. And man, he was just stroking the ball, just with that massive, long, open bridge. It was pretty cool. I'm really glad I got to know him before he moved. Unfortunately, Jay with a scratch on the break. Talking about that momentum again. John addressing the table, seeing if the 3-ball goes. Really analyzing the one if problem that he has on the table. John Mesa, being a veteran player, he took 5th, 6th at the platinum level of 8-ball here last session for the Western BCA 8-ball championships. He's not foreign to playing at a competitive level. Going back over some of his accolades, it looks like he also had a strong performance that year in teams at the gold level, finishing with 5th, 6th. I've never had the pleasure of playing him myself.
All right, Roy and
Getting
Jeremy,
back beautifully on that 3-ball that he cited earlier.
Roy and Jeremy to table number 22.
Nice controlled draw shot. This will be an interesting transition, getting from the 4 to the 5. Draws it with no problem, but right in the pocket. So he had the spin he was looking for. It was a good speed, but unfortunately, instead of him hitting either the side rail or the head rail, he just drew straight back into that pocket. Let's see if Jay can capitalize on this error. Really needs to get out on this 4-ball break, or 4-ball out, and get it tied up to 2-2.
Nicholas Smith. The score sheet does not leave the room.
Jay off to a good start. Leaving himself a nice angle to get back down for the 9. Hits it very smoothly. See that pace? You can already tell. Look at the body language. You can see that rhythm. It's like he's winding up. And that's something I've noticed about Jay in the past. You'll see his movements just kind of speed up a little bit. When he starts going, he is humming. It's like when you're going down the road in a vehicle and you just know it's just running strong. So get that score updated to 2-2. 60% favor in John Mesa. See if I can catch up on a little bit of past history here. I was talking about Jay and some of his finishes lately in the last few years. Looks like Jay took 5th in the platinum 9-ball singles last year, so in 2018. So definitely building on past and with a stronger finish this year. He took 7th in the 8-ball men's A singles back in 2017. He had a 4th place finish in the men's Open B singles in the 2014 9-ball regional championships. So, I mean, Jay's playing. He's getting better, playing at a higher level now. So, we'll see what he can do. This is shaping into the match that I was hoping for. Stair stepping. I'd like to see it go 7-6. I feel at this point in time it's a flip of a coin, seeing who's going to win.
Schoenborn and Nicholas Smith, who likes to take smoke breaks with his score sheet, table 46.
For those viewers out there, I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I know that we're having a great time here at this regional tournament. Been getting in more pool in the last 5 days than I've put in the last 5 months. There's something enjoyable about playing people from all over that I don't get to see but twice a year. There's something special about testing yourself and your skill level and how you can perform against other players that are passionate about the same sport. I really enjoy regional tournaments. Hopefully someday I can go to a tournament at the national level. I think he might have left himself good there. It's hard to tell. I could see this shaping into another two-way shot. Maybe putting the 4 in, committing to the 4, and if he gets lucky on the 9, so be it. Not everyone approaches it that way. You could tell that he's sighting that 4, so he must have enough of the edge of the ball there. The one thing I want to do is I want to size up that tangent line and make sure that there's no possibility of a scratch. I cannot scratch at this point in the match. 2-2. I'm in the driver's seat of this rack. The last thing I want to do is pull over. I don't believe I sent you an email, no. Was it my first name, middle initial, and last name?
All right, Randy and
Yeah,
Kristen,
I have not sent you an email anytime soon, so if you got something from me, it wasn't from me. I'll double check though on my outbox. Give me a moment. No, nothing from me. So if you got something, be sure to not open it. Thanks for letting me know. Ooh, look at that. What a great shot, Jay. Can you grab it? Yeah, maybe. I think we did have some group emails from the past when we were doing the straight pool and one pocket league. Yeah, I don't have a 541 area code, so it's definitely not from me. Maybe reach out to him on Messenger. I know he's been tuning in. I wouldn't be surprised if he chimes in now. Using the whole pocket there out of Jay. Maybe overrunning that shape just a hair. I don't think this is anything out of Jay's capabilities, though. I've seen Jay play a lot of extreme English in the time that I've known him. Beautiful back cut, avoiding the scratch. Playing both points for shape. You don't see that too often. This 7 being so thin, it'll be interesting in the path that he decides to take to get for the 8. I could see him playing a real wide 3-rail shape to get back kind of center table to play the 8 in the lower left corner. There was the 3rd carrying up. Oh, just a little bit higher, but that's a great line. I just thought he was going to come a little bit higher than that. I think I like that better than what I was visualizing myself. Make sure he bears down. Great shot, Jay. I think this is the Jay that we're more used to seeing. getting another game in his favor. Taking a 3-2 lead. Just an update on the Elite 10 ball singles. James DeVee is up over Lake 7-3 in a race to 9. That's the first of 2 potential sets. That tournament also being a true double elimination tournament. The nice thing about that tournament was that it had a secondary purse involved because of it being a Calcutta. So each player was available in an auction format. If you're not familiar with the Calcutta, I urge you to take a look online and do some research. It's pretty exciting. Basically a player auction. It's an easy way for viewers to partake and kind of feel like they're in the action without actually hitting a ball. Jay getting a lot of balls up table there. Look at that. So what? That's 6 balls up table and 2 just on the verge. Fortunately, that 5 is kind of in a rough spot. It's hard to tell if that 1 passes by the 4. From here, it doesn't look like it goes. I don't know if he's just trying to play a nice little safe up behind that 4. Man, almost looked like he swung at that for sure. I don't know if he was playing safe down behind the 8. I mean, with the power that he hit it, it looked like he was swinging. Was he carrying through the 1 to try and make the 4 instead of the 1? I think that was a little bit above my pay grade. John Mesa maybe looking at a 1-4 combination. Needs to keep in mind that that cut on the 3 ball to the side is pretty extreme. So one way or another, he's going to have to deal with that. The upside of that is that it's in such close proximity to the 5 ball that it's a natural breakout. Well, this changes everything, folks. Moving that 9 into an easy cheese position. Jay with an open shot on the combination. Is he going to be able to play this 1-4 combination, but at the same time move the 1 down into the vicinity of the 9 ball to play? No, he likes to control it. I like that. Are we going to see him take the 1 in the corner, draw back, and play a cross bank 3-9 combination? Big stroke there. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I think he was checking to see if it was broken there. Classic move out of Jay. I love all his animations. He's also known to hit the table. I'm really surprised he didn't hit it there. When the cue ball is rolling towards a scratch, when he wants it to stop, a lot of times he'll just give the table a single slap on that top rail. It's pretty interesting. So John Mesa going with a touchier combination here. He's playing off the 3 into the 9, as opposed to trying to play the 3 into the 9 itself. Really sighting to find that tangent line. When the 9 is that deep in the jaws of the pocket, it is really... Sorry, I was listening to an overhead message.
You can go check on that. The lead singles will be finishing tonight, so that should all be ready tomorrow for Calcutta.
Nice shot, John. Beautiful. Handling business there, getting it back to 3-3.
Scott and Brett, please move to table number 32.
Going back to what I was saying is that when you have a money ball, it doesn't matter whether it's a 9-9 or 10-10, but having a ball there so close to the pocket, it really entices you. It's like not a nagging reminder, but it pulls away from my focus on running the table, because I can taste that 9 ball or that 10 ball in the pocket. And I find myself taking much more wild shots at the 9 as opposed to pretending that the 9's not there and just running the table. I don't know if anyone else feels that same way, but it's something I've tried to kick and just haven't been successful with yet. Well, John Mesa tying it up at 3-3 and breaking. Nice shot on the 1 with a great transition to the 2 available. Getting that magic rack out of there, not wanting to deal with the ball, roll over it, and kind of change path.
Please move to table 31. Alex and William to table 31.
Even though that 7 is in close proximity to the 9 ball, it looks like it goes in both the right side, lower left corner, and maybe even the top right corner. Let's see how John hits this opening shot. Hopefully we see a nice smooth cut down the rail. Likes to go with a firmer path. I don't know if he was trying to get a certain shape on the 2 ball or if he just felt by hitting it firmer that, it would give him better results. I don't think that was a very characteristic stroke out of John from what we've seen so far. Looks like he kind of used a little bit more body and lurched into that ball. I think Jay is really stoked that he gets to come back to the table on that one. Using the whole pocket there. Good speed, getting back up table for the 2. I think we're going to see kind of like that drag draw stroke that we saw out of Jay earlier. So you're going to see this ball just flatten out and head down the rail. I think he's going to want to play the 3 ball in the lower left-hand pocket. Jay has a much better stroke than me. For all I know, he could be playing a Z shape here. But nope, there's that drag stroke I was talking about. Great shot, Jay. Good speed control. Good angle on the 3 ball. And there's that table slap. Yeah, I think here, I don't think he wants to disturb those balls, but I don't think he wants to take a lower percentage shot either. I could see him just kind of rolling through and bumping, using that 7 as a kind of a breaker ball, which is nice. Leaves himself a shot on the 4. He knows as long as he can get the cue ball back to where it's at pretty much right now, he has a shot on the 5. So whether he draws back or plays through the ball, as long as he gets to where he's at or closer to him where he's currently, then he knows that he can have an angle on the 5. Great shot, Jay. This one's tricky for me because I feel like I don't have the skill to, oh, that was so nice. I always run right into that 7 ball. Every time I shoot that shot, I'm so clumsy with it. I always think I can do it. I'm like, this is the shot. I'm going to get it this time. And I just consistently prove myself wrong. Jay playing pretty smooth. See John with his head down in the background. I'm not sure if that's fatigue, disappointment. It's kind of hard to tell. Be interesting if we all wore our thoughts on our sleeve. He's got the pencil ready, knowing that Jay's going to make this ball. Stepping up in the set, 4-3. It's getting closer and closer to a hill-hill match that I'd hoped for. Hello, James. James DeVee, if you're not familiar with him, is a player out of Washington. Very strong, versatile in the games. Banks the ball strong, plays really good, kind of small window shape, has a strong stroke. You can tell the way he moves the ball that he plays some one pocket. Had the pleasure of watching him perform at the not only one but 2 Pacific Northwest Cups. Look at this, golden break. Oh my gosh, that looks so close. It was tracking right for that side pocket. Fortunately, it's a dry break, leaving John a shot on the 1. Looks like he's tipping low for that draw shot. Coming off that side rail, leaving himself a little bit steeper of an angle than I think he wanted, but he does have a nice transition from the 2 to the 3 here, and then continuing from the 3 to the 4. So the balls are laying out pretty strong for John. I think the biggest shot that we're seeing so far is going to be getting from this 2 to the 3. I have a feeling he's going to play this maybe with a touch of inside, and he's just going to play multiple rails, just making sure that he doesn't hook himself behind the 8. Ouch. I think I might have commentary jinxed him again. I apologize, John, if you ever watch this. You can see Jay playing 2 rails, so through the ball, head rail, side rail, coming down to leave himself a decent angle on the 3 ball. It's hard to tell here. Jay likes to draw the ball, but I see him follow the ball too. I think he's going to draw out of this. Drawing out side rail, coming back towards the center table. Nope, followed it. Oh, off the 5 on the side. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Great shot. I like where he's at here because he can easily put the 4 in the pocket, whether he just hits a nice simple stop shot, play the 5 in the upper, I was going to say the upper left-hand corner. Unfortunately, just put a little bit too much mustard on that ball, getting a little bit too much action. This could be a little bit tricky. I see him just playing the 5 and trying to tie it up with the 7. Getting down table 2 rails, kind of in the behind at 6. Kind of half the battle. 5 bumped that 7 a little bit more than he wanted, and he came up a little bit shy on locking it up behind the 6. But if that 5 does go by that 7, it's no gimme. So John is going to have to be as precise as possible, pocketing the 5 past the 7. But the second part of that shot is he's going to have to get down for the 6 ball. So I see a lot of people when they're really kind of stroking the ball, it just tends to rattle in the pocket. But he executes it great. Look at that. Oh my goodness, what a great shot. Inspiring there. I think I'm probably 2 for 10 on that shot, if even. It's probably a yeah, maybe 30% for me. These shots always scare me. I feel like the back cut on the 6 and this lower right. I mean, even though I know that I can do it without scratching in the side or the corner, just something about it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I feel like when I put too much emphasis on my tangent line to not scratch, I'll tend to miss the cut. But a lot of times if I make the cut, I scratch. So it's like I need to find some middle ground. Beautiful shot there. Tracking away from that corner pocket, but heading in the right direction. John in great position to get out on this rack. 3 balls, nothing touching, one of which being right in front of the pocket. Good control there. Good speed, good line, good English. See John just playing right through this ball, one rail shape out towards the center of the table, playing the 9 in the lower right-hand corner. No. Elects to draw it, which worked out even better. Man, I wish I had that confidence. This match has been really inspiring. I'm going to have to step up my game to ever compete with these players. Great shot. And we are stair-stepping once again. 4-4 and a race to 7. Second part of a true final here at the 2019 Western BCA 9-Ball Championships. This is the Platinum Singles Division. Jay had the point, having put John Mesa on the bottom side to earn the point. John coming back through, beating Brian Bauer, putting Brian into the 3rd place finish, and coming back and beating Jay the first set of the finals. Commanding lead, 7-4. We'll see if Jay can break that chain and take John Mesa down for this first place finish. I know we talked about it before, but first place in this tournament is $1,150, whereas second place is $795. I'm not sure how many of you out there watching have played a, what is that, $205, $250, $355 set is what we're looking at right here. So I don't necessarily believe that everyone is playing for the money. I think a lot more people are playing for the prestige and just being able to go home or go to work and sit there and tell your coworkers or your family that you took first place in the tournament that you played in. Some people like to take a picture of that check and say, look how much money I just made playing something that I love to do. I think we all have different motives. For any of you that don't know me, my name is Joel Peck, and I'm sitting in with Railbirds. Appreciate the opportunity to get in the booth. I love watching pool, playing pool, eating, and drinking pool.
All right, Scott and Brett to table number 33.
Oh, he likes to play the
Scott and
combination.
Brett to table
Gets a
number
good roll
33.
there.
Roy and
That 3-ball
Jeremy,
really
please
came
move
into
to
play.
Table number 32. Roy and Jeremy to table number 32, please.
I'd like to take this time to thank all the people that have helped with this event. Western BCA staff doing a great job, those volunteers. Look at this jump cut. Oh my goodness. What a great shot out of Jay. Oh my gosh. Beautiful shot. Not a doubt in his mind. I think he can see enough ball that he's just going to draw up table, just past center table, play that 4 on the side. Oh no, we see something special out of Jay King. Oh my gosh. Look at that. What was that? 1, 2, 3 rail shape. Extreme inside English. Man, these guys just blow my mind. sitting above this 4 with a little bit of an angle, kind of deciding if he wants to play the 5 in this lower left, whether he's coming multiple rails to play the 5 in the side and move up table towards the 6. We know Jake has the capability of playing multi-rail shape to get down to leave himself a better angle on the 5 to get to the 6, but that 6 kind of becomes a bigger ball. I think he was kind of in between the two shots there. Maybe he was looking to play out of the rail and play to the lower left. Maybe he was trying to contain and play to the lower right. It's hard to tell, not being in Jay's head. Nice shot, Jay. Great shot. And that's what I was talking about with Jay having the capabilities to really move the ball around. I know that watching him warm down or warm up for a match, he's one of those guys that really likes to get out there and just let his stroke out. I'm not sure if it's just, something he was born with or something that he developed watching pool. I know that a lot of Filipino players really enjoy watching other Filipino players play, just because, the Philippines is the mecca of the billiards community. But I really enjoy watching Jay not only play those huge stroke shots, but also playing a very controlled game. So that versatility to me is huge. I like players that aren't stuck in one gear. And for me, Jay definitely gets all around. Beautiful shot there. Jay taking a huge game, stepping up 5-4, showing us that sweet stroke shot. Yeah, I see what you're saying, calling him a lucky dog. That, to the average player, it kind of seems wild that you wouldn't take that. But I bet you Jay could hit that shot and execute it at least, 5, if not 6 plus out of 10 times. So for him, he must have felt more confident in doing that than playing the shot that I was looking at. For me, I couldn't even come close. I doubt if I could even hit the foot rail, just because I have such a weak sense of stroke when it comes to inside English. Favoring momentum shift for Jay, 63-37. Makes the 1 ball and the 5 ball and the 2 ball. Looks like he has a great opportunity for a cross bank on the 3. Probably hit that with either a little bit of draw or stop, leaving the 4 in the upper left-hand corner. Knowing Jay, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just going to cut this ball on the side, that extreme cut, and play 3-rail shape out and track right towards the 4. Shoot, if he could hit that inside like he just did, man, he could play this ball with inside into the side and just tweak that ball and come all the way past that other side pocket. It's really hard to know what Jay is capable of. Look at this, opens up that bank. Man. Good leave there. I don't know about the rest of you, but to jump for an extreme cut like that is just not something I'm super comfortable with. I can get the hit, but for me, I'm kicking this ball 1 rail, so I'm going to aim towards that left side rail, and I'm going to open that ball up with inside English, meaning right, and most likely I'm going to aim not right at the ball, but I'm going to use the head rail to really kind of give me that forgiving cut. So we'll see what John does here. Looks like he might be reaching for the jump cue. Complete different method of thought. I like taking advantage of that soft rail on the kick, just because it gives me a little bit larger margin for error. Going with the dart. Nice. Strong, firm hit. The only problem with that shot is I mean, you're jumping for the hit, but you don't necessarily know where that 3-ball's going. Nothing touching. Jay with a full look on the 3. I don't know if we're going to see a safe out of here. Jay just playing that 3 past the 7. Whether we're going to see him take that steeper cut to the side pocket. Maybe he's going to cut to the side with a little bit of inside. Hitting down here by this first diamond on the foot rail and then opening up. Oh, I like that. That was beautiful. Not much effort exerted. Playing it good. Separation safe. Locking up John tight behind that 8-ball. Probably going to see a good-looking 2-rail kick for the make out of John Mesa here. Using the system. I'm not sure what diamond system he's using, but we've seen him kind of citing that out multiple times. I don't have the discipline to learn a system. I just pretty much hit and hope and go with my gut. I think he's going to want to hit firm enough that he's going to make the 3 and come up at least some type of shot for the 4. Oh, I mean, that was such a good line, just a hair off. Sorry. Jay can't ask for much more than this. Being up 5-4 in a race to 7. He's earned himself ball in hand with that strong safe behind the 8-ball. Nothing touching. Opens that up with a nice touch of outside. Probably going to see a very similar shot on the 4-ball. I'd imagine he's going to hit that with a touch of outside, opening up that angle to be tracking into the 6-ball. Whether he continues through the 6, playing the 7 in the upper right or side pocket, I think that's a matter of style. We see a lot of draw shots out of Jay, so depending on how he falls on this 6-ball, I could see him also just drawing off the 6. Got a little bit wonky there. The thing that scares me about this shot is that from here, that tangent line does look like it's heading towards this lower left corner. I feel Jay is pretty decent at distorting the tangent line, so if he feels it's right on, he might use follow or draw to pull off of that tangent line. Are we going to see that kind of arcing banana draw shot out of Jay here? Is he going to kind of arc it over to the side and then draw up center table towards the 7? Look at that. That's what I was talking about, but he definitely toned that. I like that. He didn't overdo it. He didn't want to risk scratching to the side. Good shot. This one here, I could see him cutting to this lower right-hand corner and then actually drawing up with that outside and coming up high on the 8 and then playing the 8 down in this lower left. Nope. One thing I liked about playing it the other way was that you're then moving from the 8 down towards the 9-ball. Whereas here, to get down towards the 9-ball, I'm having to pull away from the 8. If at any point in time I can follow through a ball and use the momentum of the roll, that's the style I like to play with. But once again, I'm not in the finals and I played this division. So I have a lot to learn from these two players. All I can speak from is my own personal style of play. Do you think we're going to see a nice little controlled outside cut down the rail and he's just going to play there and then back over to where his bridge hand is here? Nope. I like that way better. That worked out really well. Left himself longer, but he also controlled his angle. This is a huge cut. This will put Jay on the hill. Looking to go 6-4 in this race to 7. Taking his time. Really bearing down. Uses the whole pocket there. Great shot, Jay. So Jay taking a late set lead, going from a 5-4 to a 6-4, shifting the win percentage into his favor, 84-16. If Jay can win this next game, that'll put him at a 7-4 win over John Mesa, which is the same margin that John Mesa just beat Jay by in the last set. So it'll be a mirror image. Just got word that Kevin Ross is finishing up for the night. Looks like James DeVee did beat Lake in the first set.
7-4.
7-4. No, not 7. You're going to 9.
No, 9-5.
James defeated Lake 9-5 in the first set of the true double elimination of the Elite Division 10-ball singles. That is on the other channel available. Looks like they might be taking a little break here before they get started.
James Dog.
Summerfield telling me that there was a couple turnovers there late in the set that could have made a huge difference.
Right.
Alright, on table 37, Tyler Shields and Stephen Gray. Stephen Gray, Tyler Shields, table 37.
I wish I knew what was going through John's head here when he's looking at these lines. Is he citing the kick to the 4? 4-1-4? It's hard to tell if he's playing the combination, if he's citing his tangent line coming off of the 1. We all play those so differently. Unfortunately, nothing's touching. Jay does have the momentum of the match currently. Has a strong shot on the 1 with a decent transition over to the 2. Hard part I see of this rack is getting from, say, the 2 to up to the 3. I could see Jay depositing this 1 ball in the lower left, kind of hitting it with a punch follow shot, rolling down a little bit closer towards the 6 ball so he can cut that 2 to the lower left, opening up off that left rail and coming up table for the 3. Just kind of like that. We'll see if he can cut this 2 to the lower left, avoid the side pocket, but open that cue ball up so that way he has a shot on the 3. If Jay makes this ball, I have a feeling he's going to be out. He's kind of looking at that line. I believe he's referring to this three rail inside shot that Jay hit maybe a couple minutes ago. If you go back in the coverage once it's posted and take a look, it was a fantastic shot, but you know, it's not one that a lot of people would shoot. So I could see how it could be construed as lucky. I don't think he was referring to necessarily the technique, like that he just got lucky. He kind of slopped. I'm tongue-tied. It's not like he slopped in the ball at all, but the outcome of the leave was fantastic. Definitely one for the highlight reel. John with a good look at the 2. Playing a strong safe up behind the 9. Great shot. Man, he has really good control over his leave at long distances on those cuts. That's something that we've seen out of him quite a few times now. Jay kicking and sticking it. Nice shot. John sighting the line. I have a feeling we're going to see him play off the left edge of that 2 ball. Thin it. Whether he's going to two-way it, play the 2-9 combination, I don't think so. I think he's just playing separation. Might have been a two-way there. I mean, he hit that pretty firm. I feel like with hitting the object ball that firm, I don't think he's just trying to play safe. That was definitely an off-angle combination there at long distance. If anything, he came out on top with that leave. Jay looking to send him up table again. Oh, is he going to pick it in? Oh, all right now. Are we going to see Jay swing at the 2-9? Almost back-to-back swings at the 9. So this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Once that 9 is anywhere in the vicinity of a pocket, depending on the players, depending on the point of the match, it's really hard to resist. I think he's playing off the 2 into the 9 two-way. Oh, man. Well, here we go. 5-6 is tied up. I don't necessarily see a great line on the 5. I mean, I guess there's a bank there. I think if anything, we're probably going to see a breakout. Great shot on the 3, or great shape on the 3, I apologize. That you were talking about that 3-rail inside, right, Ken? Just because I have a feeling JoJo's going to want to go over the tape if he hasn't been watching this whole time and take a look. Jay needing to avoid the side pocket here. And there's that similar inside shot. So, not to prove a point, but to kind of push my belief on you, Ken. Did you see that was a very similar stroke that we saw before? And just from experience, I've seen Jay shoot that a lot. So that's kind of why I believe that he was fully... It was his full intention to play the shape that he did. Whether he got lucky on the window, I'm not quite sure. I like to compliment both players on their versatility. I like that we're seeing a lot of different styles of shots. This hasn't been one-sided as far as the shot selection. It's not like we're seeing all draw or all follow or all one rail. We're seeing multi-rail shape. We're seeing quite a bit of safety play. We're seeing some full-on aggressive pool. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. Look at this beautiful shot. Man, it's a great stroke. So we still have that 5-6. I guess the only action I could give you is to set that shot up and have Jay shoot 10 of them and see what type of percentage he could get shape on. I'm always down for action. I don't know if he'll be up to it, but I'll see what I can do. Oh, no. Man.
James DeVee had 9 and Rick McKay had 5, and now they are double dipping going into the second match.
I had a really good look at that 4-ball, too. I had a feeling he was going to cut that 4 to the left side and open that ball up and just bump that 5-6. That's what I think he was looking at, but that all started with the 3-ball, and unfortunately it just bobbled on him. See how smooth Jay hits this this cut. We've seen a couple out of them that haven't been super smooth. That one was much smoother. I like that. And this might fall into a really good position here. I hope he takes his time to
Brad
really
and
sight this
Jason,
out.
please move to table 33. Brad and Jason to table 33 against John and Martine.
This is huge. 6-4. Going out with a combination. Oh, misplayed it. It's a nice swing. John stoked to be stepping back to the table after that one. Pretty close proximity to the 4. It's hard to tell from this angle if he's within a chalk. Might see a strong safe out of John here. I can see him playing off the edge of that ball and just trying to hide behind that 5-6. You can tell his wheels are really turning there. Realizes the importance of this shot. Not that it's necessarily any more important than any shot that he's taken in the match, because there's the whole butterfly effect. But there is a huge added pressure just because of being on the bottom side of the hill. He needs to win this game to continue his run at this first place finish. Let's see how he plays it. Looks like he's actually lining up with the outside. He might be playing off the 4, sending the 4 down the table, and playing the 1 rail kick into the 9 ball. That'd be an amazing shot. Here we go. How much effort do you put into just the 4? I like that much better. Oh man, leaks it just a hair. That was so close to being a strong save. But once again, this is by no means a done deal. How do you make this 4 and either break out that 5-6 or somehow get shape on a shot off the 5-6? I've been looking at it, and I mean, I guess you could play the cross bank down into this lower left corner pocket, but that's not a huge percentage shot. I don't know how much of that edge Jay can see, whether he can just really punch that 4 into the side and then hit a draw and then come up behind that 5-6. Not what he had in mind, I guarantee you that. It looked like he was just trying to kind of very slowly roll that ball, and then maybe he was going to play the cross 5 combination into the 9 ball. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're seeing something I'm not able to see from this vantage point. Maybe that 5 was cuttable in this lower left pocket by the 6. It's really hard to tell. One way or another, John's in a great position here. Looking to just come off this 5 ball, 6 in the side, 9 in the lower right-hand corner. Only thing I'd say is that being that close to the rail, a wise player once told me that it lowers your percentage of making the shot by 5%. He said, Joel, if you could stop leaving yourself on the rail, you're going to get 5% better overnight. And that was John Doherty out of the Washington. I heard what he had to say, but I just still haven't been able to accomplish the goal. Nice shot. Heck yeah, 1 game closer to that hill that I'm looking for. Nice shot, John. John getting it to 5-6 in this race to 7. Once again, this is the second final of the 2019 Western BCA 9-ball championships. This is a platinum single division. Anthony J. King Abisado did have the point. He had put John Mesa on the bottom side. John then came through, beat Brian Bauer, and beat Jay King the first set. So they're on the second set, and the score is 6-5 in favor of Jay. Coming down to the wire here. Getting plenty of pool. I love it. Hope you're all enjoying it as much as I am. See what kind of break Jay's going to lay down here. On the hill and breaking. It's always a good spot to be in. Nice firm break. Looks like he has a great shot on the 2. Nothing touching. 4's on the rail, but it's not like it's not doable. Are we going to see a controlled draw shot out of Jay to leave himself a little bit more distance on the 3, but a more doable angle? Looks like Jay has some people rooting for him. I know a couple of these guys. I like that control there. Didn't do anything fancy. Just put the ball where he needed to put it. This shot's going to be a little bit more technical, I feel like. Are we going to see Jay hit that classic open up? So he's going to go around that 8 ball, go towards that right side pocket, open it up, and play the 4 in this lower left corner.
Will Alex or William come up here? Chad and Jackson.
He likes inside.
to table
I could see him
number
playing that
35,
3 ball
please.
inside,
Chad and Jackson to
taking
table
that cue ball
35.
down just behind the 9 ball and leaving the 4 ball in the upper left-hand corner too. Oh, and that was the shot, but look at, you start playing that low speed inside shot and it just distorts that cut. Man, I mean, he hit that shape great, but it all starts with making that ball. It's a hard miss for Jay to swallow, knowing that he's up 6-5. I'm not sure how much of this 3 ball John can see. Looks like he's kicking here. Good solid hit there. Those hand movements always remind me of a casino worker, whether they're cashing you out in the cage or whether they're on the roulette table. But once they kind of start showing like that they don't have anything in their hands, they're on camera. It's something I'm seeing more and more of in the pool community. Kind of like, what can I do? What can I do? I like to pay attention to people's body language. Like I was saying earlier in the match, I'm a firm believer of energies and how you kind of hold yourself. I've talked to quite a few players that use a lot of strategy when it comes to just believing in yourself and how you hold your body while you're not shooting. It's like a power stance. It's pretty interesting stuff. Looks like Jay's just going to come back with a nice controlled draw shot. Oh, man, pulling off. You can see the disappointment in his shoulders there. Well, this is by no means a gimme. You're stoked that you're coming to the table, but you're looking at this shot like, geez Louise. I mean, to hit this 4 ball and get back for a good shot on the 6, John Mesa is going to have to come with it. I will be amped if he gets out on this rack. I want to see it go hill. Show us 6-6. Here we go. Big stroke shot. Nope. And that's a very common symptom. But he gets a good roll there. Could have been much worse. But yeah, when you're just juicing up, you know. Like, I mean, I feel like he's, in his mind, he's building it up knowing that that's probably at the height of his stroke. I mean, at the top of his spectrum as far as abilities. And so you're kind of building it up. And the more you build it up, the more effort you put into it, especially a draw shot like that. I feel like you tend to put more body English into it. You tend to squeeze the butt of your cue more. You tend to kind of lurch more. Whereas what you really need to execute that shot is just the smoothest body mechanics possible. But you've already built it up to something huge in your mind. Oh, I don't think that was a good hit. Good sportsmanship on Jay. Just automatically grabbing for that cue ball. That was a huge miss there. It's hard to tell if the 6 goes by the 8 in this lower right pocket. It must. It doesn't seem like John's even looking at it. So, to me, that indicates that it goes all day long. Doesn't look like he's giving himself a huge angle. Getting close to that ball. Nice little control. Great shot. Look at that. Looks like he's just playing that 6 straight down. Whether he's going to bump the 8 and play the 7 in the opposite corner, the opposite side, I think that's what he's going with. I don't think he's going to risk trying to back it up to leave himself the 7 in this lower corner pocket, but I guess we're about to find out. See, that I don't understand, because he's taking a look at the 7 like, does it go? But he should know for sure that it goes. Maybe he's just clarifying that it goes. No, look it. See? That confuses me, because he just utilized his ball in hand and played shape that it went. So if he's not 100% sure in his mind that it goes, I don't see how he could have shot that last shot, unless now he's just deciding, do I want to play this ball, because I don't know if I can get to the 7 off that. I don't know. That's just my belief. Who am I? I'm the guy that didn't make it into the money in the same division, so don't take what I have to say into too much consideration. I take it with quite a bit more than a grain of salt. Maybe like a whole big old box. Nice leave there. Looks like it worked out perfect. He's just taking his time now, making sure he realizes how important this is. Deciding how he's going to play. We saw him kind of looking at that tangent line, deciding if he's going to roll through this ball and play down to the foot rail, whether he's going to play that 8 in the side, whether he's really going to stroke it and come back up table to play the 8 in the lower right. That was a great shot. I like that. I would have never played it that way, just because I don't really own that. But that worked out really good. You could tell he hit that ball with confidence, and whatever you need to do to hit a ball with confidence, I fully support it. Even this shot can be a little bit tricky. Gives himself more distance. I like that. I really support that shot. He wasn't going to risk anything, but this is a huge 9 ball. This is no gimme. I think in a vacuum, if he was just shooting this ball, John Mesa probably makes this ball, I would say maybe 8 out of 10 times. But with all the added pressure, knowing how important this ball is, I think that percentage drops way down. Commentators jinx. Gosh darn it. They can't hear me, so I can't really take that into too much stake, but I think I can speak from experience. That's why. I bet you I make that ball probably 7 out of 10 times in a vacuum, but in that setting, I'm making that ball like 4 out of 10 times. I'm losing a huge percentage. Oh my gosh, and that's what I'm talking about. Both players, it's not just one. John Mesa on the ground, not with enthusiasm, but just in shock. Literally drops to his knees saying, no way did you just miss that shot. Holy heck, do we have a ball game here, folks. 6-6. What a turn of events. Started out the set with some highlight reel shots, and towards the end, we are going into the blooper reel. Fatigue may be setting in. Definitely feeling the pressure here. But are they going to flip a coin for it? Are they going to double it up and roll it back? It's hard to tell here, but we're at Hill Hill. John Mesa has the advantage of the break. I would love to see the strongest pool of the set that we've seen. Oh, look at that sportsmanship. High fives all around. Man, these guys are having a good time. No animosity at all. They can both acknowledge that they've had some great shots and they've had some horrible misses. I mean, this is amateur pool. This is what it's all about. We are all striving to get better and just reduce those misses. We're all capable of making a really good shot, but what we really want to do is get better at not missing those shots that you know we can make. So let's get some positive momentum going here. I'd love to see a break and run. Not the easiest opening shot, but I believe that 2-ball does go in that lower right corner. Opts to play safe, but I think it leaked. Did you say you're coming to meet me in Elizabeth at the Derby City Classic? Elizabeth, Indiana, or? If you are, I look forward to it. Look me up, Joel Peck. I'm always down for cheap sets. Make a proposition I can't refuse. Jay in great position here. Nothing touching. Great shot on the 3. Not necessarily the easiest transition to the 6, but once again, both players are completely capable of getting from the 4 to the 6. It's all about how they're going to do it. What is the highest percentage? Is he going to split this gap between this 9-6? No problem there. Nice and smooth. Getting from the 6 to the 7. Is he going to back up or is he going to roll forward? I think he's, oh man, it looks like he's sighting low on it. Backs it up. Great. I really like that that leaves a nice shot on the 8-ball here. Here we go. Take a breath. Take a walk. Don't build it up. Walk in the park. In a vacuum, Jay's out here. I think I'm being conservative when I'm saying 7 out of 10 times. I would give that same odds to John Mesa. But in this current situation, it's a lot more than that. I mean, there's so much riding on it. It's huge. Here we go. Now is he going to choose to roll this ball, or is he going to play right through it and stroke it? He rolled it. Here we go. He can feel it. This is it. Hill Hill. True double. Went all the way down to the spectrum. Nice shot, Jay. What a match. Gosh, you can't ask for much more than that. Beautiful. 7-6. True double elimination. Congratulations, Jay. Anthony J. King Abisado takes down John Mesa. Congratulations to our runner-up, John Mesa. You guys had some great shots. Really kept us on the edge of the seat. Appreciate you entertaining us. Congratulations to both of you. Look forward to hopefully seeing you at the next regional event here. 8-ball, 2020, I believe. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still interested in watching some pool, switch over. We have a really great match going on in the Elite Division 10-ball singles. I'm going to swap over. Appreciate you listening in. Once again, this was Joel Peck sitting in with Railbirds. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to that other channel with my boy, Summerfield Habner. I'll talk to you guys later.